Okay, so today we'll review the Targeted Actions module in Salsa Engage. And in order to access this, you'll log into your Salsa Engage account, and you'll go into the Activities tab, and you'll select the Targeted Actions tab. And then from here, you'll see that this is an overview of all the targeted actions that you have done in the past, and this will self-populate. Down here, you'll notice that there's 5 different tabs: the Actions tabs, the Regulation Comment Form tab, Legislator Lookup, Custom Targets, and Custom Target Imports. So Actions is just overall actions, and the Regulation Comment Form. So this is if you'd like to append comments, you can basically go to regulations.gov, and then from there you can select the docket from that site, and then you can link comments directly from that docket. They'll actually be automatically embedded in your form. And so that's an indirect way of getting a rep's attention rather than filling out a form or contacting them directly. And right here, this is the legislator lookup. The legislator lookup is if you'd like to create a form with a tool at the end of it, which would be the legislator lookup, a tool for individuals to look up their region's legislative representatives. So again, it's not an action, but it's more so used as a tool. And then the custom targets tab right here, this is a tab in which you can define different targets according to different filters. So for example, if you have senators in Massachusetts that you are constantly contacting, then you would want to add them as a custom target. And also too, you have custom target imports. Custom target imports is a feature that you can use if you specifically have a list of individuals yourself that you would like to reach out to, other than state representatives or legislative representatives. If you have, let's say, for example, people at a school, like the top PTA members in Massachusetts that you'd also like to contact, you can import custom targets right here in order to do so. You can do so by clicking this button right here, and then let's name this import DMH RSP test, and we'll name this DMH RSP test. And then you can go here to look for the file. So it's important to note that you actually have to create a custom Excel file and then export it to a text file. So the file will not work if it's a CSV file, so it definitely has to be a text file. And the column definitions that you would include would be category, title, letter salutation, full name, email address, office title, organization, city, state, province, region, zip, postal code, and Twitter handle. And you would put that information here, so you'd make as many entries as you want, and then you'd export this as a text file. Once you export it as a text file, it will look something like this, and then you can select open. And then as this is uploading, presuming that everything works properly, you'll see right down here it will say done. If there are any errors, you'll notice there will be error messages right here. So this is done, so I'm going to click Next, Import Settings. And this will bring you to the next section of mapping fields, and here you can map fields manually. So let's say, for example, Salsa has predefined fields that don't match up with the fields that you're importing. In this section, you can go through the fields and make sure that everything's lined up properly and fix any loose ends. And so everything looks like it's matching up properly, so then I'm going to hit Next, Import Settings. And this allows you to select how you would like to find duplicates, or have Salsa find duplicates in case while you're importing there are any duplicates. And there are 2 different ways you can locate these duplicates. It can be through Engage's UUID number or the external target ID. And then if a duplicate is found, what you can do is select one of 2 options: keep all existing data and fill in the blanks, or overwrite all included fields with new data. I suggest that if you are not aware of any duplicates and you just want to be careful about overwriting any information, that the default would be keeping all existing data and filling in the blanks, unless you know that the specific export that you've done is purposefully to update all those constituent records. Then you can say overwrite all included fields with new data. And so I'll leave this as keeping all existing data and filling in the blanks, and I'll click I'm done. And so right now it's finalizing the import, and the import details, you can see the import name, the import description, the import progress, and total rows to be imported to. So right now we're just waiting for the import to finalize. And so now the import has finalized, and it will show you right here that it's complete and that it imported one row. Duplicate rows were found, so there were no duplicates recorded, and one row was not imported because that was the column definition row. And so it looks like everything successfully imported. We can download the issue and research this further if we wanted to. And right here you can also do the same for successfully imported rows. So let's start an activity. Again, you'll notice right here there's 3 different types of activities for targeted actions. You have the targeted action activity, regulation comment form, which is what we discussed before, and then the legislator lookup tool, which is what we discussed before. However, specifically for this one, we'll go into targeted action. And oh yeah, you have to name this, so let's do test 2. And you have the option to create a new form by starting fresh from a layout, or you can use a pre-designed template or copy an existing targeted action. Now, because of issues with coding and processing, I don't necessarily recommend this one. To simplify the process and to ensure the best outcome, I would say start with either copy an existing targeted action or use a pre-designed template if you don't have an existing targeted action designed. So right now we'll use a pre-designed template, and we'll select this one right here. And you have to select the template. You can't, just kind of click next. So until you select this, this won't continue to go forward. And as we selected that, this will actually bring you into the whole process of completing this targeted action. So the first step would be the basics, and we've named this targeted action test 2. And this specifically is for internal purposes. So let's say MEMH, DMH, RSP initiative. We'll just leave it like that, and then we'll select next. And then this will bring us into the different targets that we would like to select, whether they be organizations or individuals. So you have the ability to select either. And also you'll want to name your target set reference names. So let's say, for example, you wanted to target senators in Massachusetts. And then your public target set description, this is for internal purposes only, so I'll put in there all senators in Massachusetts. And then you'll go down to messages and delivery channels. You'll select which messages and delivery channels you'd like. They have the option for click to call. However, we don't have that enabled in our account, so you can select email or a web form or Twitter. And or you could select both. And then what you would do is you'd customize this messaging. To do so, click that button right here. And then, can the supporter customize this message? No, but they can add a comment. Yes, they can change the letter. We'll select no just as a default. And then you'll want to choose the topic in which the targeted action is most relevant to. So let's put in here housing, because we're talking about the RSP. And then you can do different versions, up to 20 different versions of the message. And in doing so, you would just click this tab in order to add different variations. So this one, let's say DMH, RSP, act now. And let's just put in here act now, and then click save content. So now we've done the messaging for the email and web form, and then let's also click on the pencil so we can go into Twitter and what the message would be here. So maybe you'll say at DMH support the DMH RSP, and then click Save Continue. So now your messages have been selected and they've been customized according to your targeted action. And then right here is where you select the targets in which you would like the messaging to go out to. So you have the option to select offices or individuals, or you can select both. And to do so, you click that button right there on the top right. You'll notice right here that everything is defaulted, or this library is defaulted to 83,979 results. However, let's start with drilling down in terms of selecting offices. To do so, what you would do is go to this left-hand panel right here, and let's say we wanted to select senators in the state of Massachusetts. We would select State Senate, click Apply, and then we'd go to State, add another filter, and then we would select Massachusetts and then hit apply. And you'll notice right here that there's 40 results. In order to add this specific query or this specific custom target, what you would do is click this button after you've narrowed down, and it says add all matching offices. So you'll notice right here it says all of State Senate in Massachusetts. And let's say, for example, we wanted to also add, one or two individuals to this. So we would go to that individual's record and then click the button next to the record that says add as an individual target. Now you can also, if you're searching for individuals, let's say you want to find individuals in Massachusetts, you would go to the search button and then hit Massachusetts. Oh, sorry, we have to clear this first. Okay, so we're back at 83,000. That's important to make sure that you're back at the default. And then we would put in Massachusetts, should be around 200, I think. Yeah, 200 results. And so then you can kind of scroll down and select which individuals you would like to be placed in, as well as your offices. And then you click Save. So now you've identified the different office or the state senate in Massachusetts as being the office you'd like to contact, and then the individuals listed right here that you would also like to contact. So exclusions is essentially the same process as targets, except for the intention would be if you wanted to exclude certain offices or individuals from your targeted action initiatives. And then you would click next. So this will bring you to the compose section of the targeted action. And so we'll go into here to edit the content. So the beauty of Salsa is that you can edit directly from a front-end user perspective. And how you would do that is you would hover over the specific content field and you would click the pencil. And then you can go in here and pretty much edit and customize accordingly. And also, it's important to take note of these other options up here. So the gear setting right here, this is more so how the actual container aligns and the padding. So you have the ability to customize that, and then also customize it in terms of what people are seeing on their mobile phones as well. So right here, display options show this element on both small and large screens, alignment options over here as well, and click out of here to cancel. So this is the actual text body, and then to access the row, you want to make sure that you select row, and you have the ability to customize the row now that you've clicked on it. And you'll go into gear settings, and so again, this is the same concept where you can edit the design accordingly, and then on mobile you have the option, display options for mobile as well. So now I want to click out of the row, and I want to focus right here on the form itself. And in the form, you'll have sometimes forms have different steps. However, this one is pretty straightforward, so there's only one step. If you'd like to add different steps, you can do so by clicking this plus button right here. And these are just different fields that they would have to fill out in order to submit the form. So this will self-populate according to the parameters that you set on the back end. And then once you're done with that, you'll look up here. So after the person takes action on the landing page, the next page, or the next step rather, that they would be directed to is the action step. And so this right here will populate according to the parameters that you set up on the back end. So in terms of who appears here, will be determined by who you've selected in your targeted offices or targeted individuals. So once they've submitted the action portion of the form, they'll be directed to either the No Targets page or the confirmation page. And the No Targets page is a page that lets them know that there are no representatives in their district in which they can target. So this action in particular would not be applicable to them. And if it is applicable to them and they've successfully submitted their information, they'll be brought to this, and they'll skip over the No Targets page and they'll end on the confirmation page. And this just thanks them and asks them if they can share it. And again, these pages are both customizable. It's also important to note that each one of these pages are different. So if you change something on this page, it will solely be for this page and it will not reflect in the other pages. So now that we've composed the content for the targeted action, we'll click Save and Exit. And right here, you'll notice that you have the ability to change the page title, page description for search engines, keywords. When it's shared on social media, you have the ability to provide a custom description here and a title. And in order to edit that, you'll click the Edit button right here. And we'll put DMH RSP up here. And then we'll customize the URL to say DMH RSP. And this is good to include some metadata so that it's searchable in terms of, appearing on Google and in search engines. So right here, of course, I'm not going to be detailed just for the sake of this training, but I'll include DMH RSP. And then keywords, we could put DMH, RSP, MAMH, Massachusetts Association for Mental Health, all the basics you can include in here. And then down here, social network title. So this is what will appear on social media when anybody shares it. And we can say, support the DMH RSP. That. Whoop, hello. And then support today. Again, just simplifying for the purpose of training. And then select image. So this will be the shareable image on social media. We'll select this stock image here and then save settings. And now you'll see that all the page settings have updated. Once you have a final piece of content that you're satisfied with, you will select right here what you would like to happen after the supporter submits the form. So you have the ability to show them a message, or you can send them to a new page. And then this is third-party tracking. So if you would like to integrate any third-party tracking tools, you have the option to do so directly here in the settings. And then you click next, and that will bring you to autoresponders. Here you have the ability to edit the auto responses that go out to individuals that either did not complete their submission, or the submission failed because the representative was out of their district, or if they have submitted and it's confirmed and everything worked properly, then an email confirmation will be sent to that individual. So you have the ability to send them an autoresponder message, or you can click right here that says don't send anything to them. And obviously this is preferable just in terms of communication with those who are engaging with your organization. You just want to make sure that you're able to provide as much communication as possible to increase engagement. So we selected this button right here, and in doing so, there's the ability to either use the default message that Salsa has predefined, or you can customize your own messaging. And in order to select either one of the two, you would go here to the pencil message next to the autoresponder name. And you'll see right here, you can select which email should it send, use the default targeted letter out of district letter, or customize this autoresponder for this form. So down here, you have the ability to add an individual in which you would like to contact every time that this form is sent out. So let's say, for example, info@memh.org. We'll add that here. And then sender details we can manipulate, and then sender details we can edit whatever we would like the recipient to see in terms of the organization's name. We'll leave this as Massachusetts Association for Mental Health, and from email address, reply to email address info@memh.org. And then here you have the ability to edit the content, and then here you have the ability to edit. And then here you have the ability to edit the content directly, so that you can customize it more so for your organization's needs. And once you edit the content and everything's complete, you can run this score checker, which is a really cool tool that will tell you if the email looks good, and doesn't look too spammy. And when it looks too spammy, sometimes it ends up, in the trash folder or spam folder. So this is definitely an important tool to use. And you have the ability to send a test message right here. So you can send a message. I could put in my email address there and then send the test. And so we'll click save. Okay, and we can do the same thing with the targeted letter sent confirmation. So you'd go through the same process to edit this autoresponder as well. So now let's say you're done customizing your autoresponders and you're ready for the next step, which is notifications. And this is a powerful tool because it lets somebody in your organization know whenever a submission is made. So in essence, you'll understand who is actively engaging with your content and how effective your targeted actions are.